When we talk about what does it mean that we want to leave a blessing for our future generations, we'll talk about things like we want to leave them a nice building, we want to leave them with no debt, right? We want to leave them a nice house. Right? It's so interesting how they're talking about spiritual inheritance and we're talking about earthly inheritance that we want to pass on. And it's not meant to be judgmental, but it's just to recognize something that we have lost, right? That the desire of God, which is that God is a God of not only every nation, but of every generation. Because what God is trying to say to Jacob is this: the way I loved Adam is the way I love you. The way I blessed and provided for Abraham is the way I'm going to bless and provide for you. These are things that I'm unchanging, I'm the same God, and I'm going to be your God the way I was their God and did miraculous things in their life. And we have lost that covenant, that passing on of these generation to generation, leaving a blessing and a legacy. And here, we see this continuing, because God not only says this to Jacob, but then what says, I want to do this to you, your descendants as well. And I want to pray for us here that we would begin to reflect and think about this idea of what does it mean that when we come to this place that we are receiving God's blessing, that the moment we leave, we're able to pass on to our neighbors and to our future descendants the same blessing of God that we receive. I mean, this is what the church today poorly does. We are good at seeking blessings to receive for ourselves, but what we can learn from the Jewish people and the culture is this: how do we receive those things from God and then pass it on to our next generation, or how do we pass it on to our neighbors, how do we pass it on to our family members that are not inside of this church. I'm going to ask you guys to pray because we have no time, but we're going to just pray just very quickly. Two things, so we're not going to respond, so I apologize. We're going to pray for just the people here first, okay? Let's begin to develop that heart and that culture, wanting to receive God's blessings, but also to pass it on. So I want you to pray very quickly. Lord, I want you to fill me with your blessing and with your favor. And then just very quickly, just to pray for the person next to you, says, Lord, and equally as much, I want you to pray for a blessing